Hello, GrandView. Pastor Bob here. A couple of updates for you. First of all, I want to share with you about our vision team and what we've been doing. The vision team has sensed that God is leading us towards four directionals, as we are still shaping and molding the vision that we believe God is calling us to. Number one, that one of the four directionals would be this, the next generation. We believe God has uniquely gifted us. He's uniquely called us, impassioned us as a body, not just the leadership, but the entire congregation, for reaching the next generation, kids, youth, young adults, to equip them, to empower them for the kingdom, and we believe that's going to be a large part of our focus. Number two, we believe God has also called us to an engagement of all generations in the vision. So in other words, no matter how young or no matter how old, everybody has a unique gifting and calling, and we believe that God is, as we're pursuing to reach the next generation, that God is calling us to engage all generations in that process. And so be praying, Lord, what do you have for me in this process? The vision's not fully formed yet, but we believe these are directionals for it. Number three, community outreach, that we would be a church who has a regular presence in the community, a deluge, you might say, of GrandView in the community, where the community around the campus of the church would be sad if we were no longer here. That because we've had such an impact on them, such a regular presence in the community around the church campus, but also our personal neighborhoods and the wider Colorado Springs area, that people would be disappointed if we were gone. So we believe God's calling us to regular engagement in the community as a church. Number four, relational connectivity. That as we're reaching out to the community, as we are looking to empower, equip the next generation of kids, youth, and young adults for the kingdom, as we are engaging all generations in that process, that we would build deep and meaningful relationships with one another and with those in the community around the church campus and in our neighborhoods. So those are the four directionals. Next gen, all generations engaged, community outreach, and relational connectivity. We believe those four directions are going to have a huge part in shaping who we're going to become as a church going forward. And early next year, we don't know exactly when yet. We're trying not to put God in a box, but we'll let you know once we have a date. Early next year sometime, we plan on unveiling the vision in its totality and implementing it, beginning to implement it. This will be a long-term vision with short-term objectives and goals, and so we're excited for that. Hey, I also wanted to share with you one other thing in the life of the church concerning COVID. As you may have heard, cases have been rising in the community around us, and so we want to make sure we're doing the right thing and best steps. You may not know this, but the church I pastored last in eastern Colorado, that congregation of probably 60 to 70 on a Sunday morning, at least before COVID, they have had anywhere from 20 to 25 people in the church get infected with COVID. While that sounds very scary, and to some degree is something that should cause us to stop and pause, it's a unique context there. A very tight-knit community, a lot of close relationships and people in houses and things like that, which is wonderful, but also has led to maybe more of a spread. And we don't even know all the ways that the virus spread, but we do know it's been a big outbreak there. And these are wonderful people. Now, the good news is, while there's been a few hospitalizations, and we're going to continue to pray for them, that most have come through it very well overall, although it's been tough on a number of them. The hospitalizations, I think there's one that's still in the hospital, and we want to pray for him. His name is Bud Monroe. We'll pray for Bud as a church. But overall, we're glad to hear that even with these large number of infections, that so far people are coming through it pretty well. So in the county, for El Paso County, I want to say that they have made a change from Safer at Home Phase 1 to Safer at Home Phase 2. effective yesterday, from what I understand. What that basically means is that not much is going to change as far as the guidelines for the community here in Colorado Springs, El Paso County. But one thing was they went from 175 people indoor gatherings down to 100. Now, fortunately for us, this won't affect how we're doing church. It will remain much the same. Our sanctuary has a capacity of 418, meaning at 25% capacity, which is what they're asking, we fall about 104 people safely we can have in our sanctuary. And with this new guideline of no more than 100, fortunately that works out well for us. We have just under 100 seats available. We have seats blocked off, more than 100, but just under 100 seats available. And so, again, this doesn't really change how we're going to do Sunday morning gatherings, but a couple of things I want you to know about that. Number one, we did purchase a fogger. And we won't have it for this Sunday, but we will have it for the cleaning for after this Sunday to come early next week, and we will use that as a way of helping to sanitize even further our facility and sanctuary, and we think that's going to be a big help going forward and something we can use in future cold and flu seasons as well to help less contraction of those sicknesses. And so we're excited for that step and let you know we're taking good precautions going forward. Lastly, again, just as a reminder, as you come and go, as you're moving about the facility, we encourage you to wear a mask. So as you're coming in, as you're going out, those kind of things. And then once you're in your seat, the seats are socially distanced and you're able to feel free to remove your mask if you choose or keep it on, whichever. But I encourage you to remember that process as a way to help as well. Those are just some of the updates we wanted to share in the life of the church. We're excited for all that's God is doing. There's many more things coming, and we just continue to pray for you and for God to lead us as a church as we go through this crazy season of COVID, the election, everything related to that, and we're trusting God that God is in control. Hey, have a great rest of your week, and we hope to see you Sunday, either in person or online.